This conference will now be recorded.
Hi all, so welcome to performance testing with JMeter. Right, go to advanced level, and today will be day 7, or you can say demo 7. So as a recap, just a second. Yeah, so as a recap, in day 6, in previous day, right, uh, we entered into JMeter. We talked about the different terminologies with respect to performance testing, right? We talked about 12 major components and then sub-element. Then we talked about the proxy port and proxy server setup, right? We talked about how request, response, transaction, header methods, they all looks in JMeter, right? Then we talked about the importance of transaction controller, and then different views, right? Different views in view result tree. Fine. Now we'll continue with that, and we'll see. So I told that there will be the original recording log which we have to save, right? So we'll see how to save that. Then I told that we have to filter out the irrelevant request and embedded resources. So how to filter that, that also we'll see, right? And then I'll tell you how to set up the port and proxy in different browsers. Fine. Mm, just a second. Let me open this Control X. Yeah, fine. So first I'll tell you like how to filter the embedded resources and irrelevant request, and how we can save the original recording, right? Recording logs. Fine. So to do that, right? In previous session I discussed about that. So to do that, what we have to do is we have to use the recording template. Okay, so let me open the JMeter once again. Fine. So it's I'm also using 5.4.3, so I'm suggesting you all to use the same, right? It's a good it's the updated version. Okay. So in the last session, what I told that we have to do to record, we have to arrange few elements initially, right? At test plan level, we have to add a thread group. Then inside thread group, we have to add a logic controller called recording controller. Then inside that same thread group, we have to add a listener called views tree, right? Then we have to click on test plan, and we have to go to add a non-test element, and we have to click on this HTTP test recorder, and inside that we have to add, and we have to click on views tree. Fine, like this, right? Okay, and this is the only element HTTP test script recorder which helps in recording, right? After setting the port and proxy, we have to click on the start button and then do the recording, right? Now, so I told that we do not record uh, irrelevant request, right? And um, yeah, and irrelevant request and embedded resources. So there is a filter given in JMeter, right? So to use that filter, we have to use a template called recording template. Mm, just a second. Yeah, this point I'll let me, as per the PPT, it should be here. Do not worry, I'll come back to later on, right? Let it be here. So, uh, what is embedded resources? We know, right? And then what is irrelevant request? Correct. That also I've discussed. But from where they come, right? From where they come, first we'll understand them. About irrelevant request I'm talking about. So in the last session, if you remember, I told you that uh, there was something Google, right? Google Analytics or something request related to those were there. So from where they come, right? So see, what happens is whenever you are recording the traffic through JMeter, that time in our system many things happens. Okay, in our system means this laptop, right, or the PC, many such softwares are there which communicate with their server, right? Or you can say many such applications are there which communicate with their server, and we do not know. Okay, they it's not like that when you are opening the Google Chrome and you are browsing something, that time only the request is going to the outside, right, outside network, right, and response is coming. No, like you must have seen that Windows take always update, right? So how they know, how Windows know that update is available? Because in background Windows is always sending a request to the his server, Microsoft Windows, right, and checking with the update. If update is there, he will check and he will notify that, hey, update is there, install that. Like that many things will be there which who communicate with their server. Okay, and we are not aware of that. So what happens is when we record, those kinds of request will be recorded, you will see those kinds of request. Okay, and hence they will be reflecting in our recording, right? And that's why right, that is the source from where they come. And since they are not relevant, right, they are not useful for us, that's why it is called irrelevant and we have to delete them, right? We have to delete them. Fine. Same as embedded resources. Okay, you will ask me why we do not keep embedded resources. So see, actually what happens, generally we do not bother about embedded resources because embedded resources is a thing which is rendered when the main response comes, right? When the main response comes, wait, expect. So suppose when the request is sent, right, response comes, and response always comes in code format. And then once the code is rendered, that time the embedded resources will be downloaded, right? Downloaded. So that is a later part. Okay, that is done by browser. We do not send a request for embedded resources, right? So once the response comes, browser download it, right? But if you record or if you keep the embedded resources in your JMeter recording, and when you run the test, so what happened, you are sending the request for embedded resources. Okay, which is not a real time scenario, right? Okay, embedded resources will be are automatically retrieved by browser when the response comes, and while processing it is retrieved, it is downloaded, it is processed. So same way in JMeter also we have a feature to download it automatically like how the browser does, but we should not send a request for embedded resources separately. Okay, it's not a correct simulation, and that is the reason we should not keep the embedded resources also, we should in the script, right? And I told what we keep. So what we should keep, right? So we should keep uh, we should keep only the main request. The main request will be looking like HTML, XHR, JSON, SPX, PHP, etc. Right? These are the main requests. a list of embedded resources I have kept here, a long list. Any request that you see will have extension like this are embedded resources. Okay, embedded resources, and you do not have to keep them. You have to delete them. Irrelevant are always irrelevant. You can figure out any relevant request, right? Any request which is not relevant to your application that you are working on, right? Uh, those are always irrelevant. So you have to delete them. Fine. Any questions?
What are this XHR request?
XSR request, I'll show you later on. You'll get the idea what they are. They are JSON request actually.
Okay. And one more question was there. So when you were saying that it will be recorded all the irrelevant requests as well. So
Hmm.
like if you're opening if you're using Chrome browser, okay. So and we are giving the port as well, while recording. So even at that time also it will be getting recorded, like.
That time only you are recording. That time only those things gets recorded.
Okay.
Normal time we do not bother about them. Why we will normally why we bother about that? But when you set up the port proxy, so what happens? The traffic is going from your system. The traffic is going through that port, and JMeter is there on that port doing the recording. So anything from your system that will go to the network will be captured. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Thank you.
I got
Fine.
one
Now
more
we'll
question.
yeah.
Sorry, I just want
Yeah,
to
please.
ask, why do we not record embedded resources? Because wouldn't things like CSS, JPEG, the images actually also affect the performance and loading speed as well?
Yeah, they do. So, but those measurements comes in server side, client side performance testing. Okay. So, like long back, I talked about in which day? This is in day 5. I clearly I have talked about what is server side performance testing and what is client side performance testing, right? And client side performance testing is not possible perfectly by JMeter. Okay, it's halfway possible, not perfectly possible. uh, what are the other tools which are capable in doing client side performance testing? So that also I have highlighted, like it's a LoadRunner. In that, two client protocol is there, those we have to use, right? Or some other is there. So going forward, there is a session called JMeter and Selenium WebDriver integration, right? So in that, again, we'll be talking about the client side performance testing, and what are the other tools which supports client side performance testing. Okay, so that
Okay,
is the
thank you.
reason, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I will. Okay. Okay, now how to filter, right? How to filter? So see, in JMeter, there are some filters given. You can, I have kept a list here. You see, JMeter has, people have given some predefined set of filters which will filter the traffic coming from those requests. Like if you see here Windows update Microsoft.com. So any request which will be having this will be filtered out from your recording, right? In JMeter, whatever we record, right? So on the left hand side, what requests are there? From that, anything will be filtered like that. Anything with this message.yahoo.com or anything with windowsupdate.com or toolbar queries, right? All this thing you see URL here. So anything with them will be filtered out. But what is the problem is, see, this filter is not 100% 100% foolproof. Okay, foolproof. Okay, even if you use this filter, always sometime irrelevant request will be recorded. Remember, even if you use this filter, always irrelevant spelling is wrong. Right? Irrelevant request will be recorded. Okay, so at that time, what we have to do, we have to manually delete it. We have to identify them and we have to select them and we have to manually delete them, right? because these are a general filter they have given. It's not let me show you. I have a McAfee antivirus. Okay, McAfee antivirus. You will be knowing the McAfee, very famous. It's a very famous antivirus, right? In my system. So when I record, sometime what happen? Request from McAfee will be captured. But here, if you see, there is no filter given by McAfee, right? So obviously, it will be captured. So and that request I do not need. So I have to delete manually. I have to delete. Same way, here you see these two filters here and here, right? I have kept this on different slide. So these two filters, these filters are given to filter out the embedded resources. You may see the extension also, like, okay. But what happen, even if you use them, sometime embedded resources will be captured. So at that time you have to identify them, and that time you have to manually delete them. That time also you have to manually delete it. Okay, these filters are there, they will work. But even though like let us say they will work for 60 to 70%, and then in 30% cases, even though what will happen, irrelevant request and embedded resources will be captured. So at that time you have to identify them and you have to delete them. That's it, as simple as it. So for an example, I'll tell you, let us say suppose there will be embedded resources whose extension will be .svg. Okay, but if you see here, there is no filter about .svg. Is there any filter about .svg? No, right? So .svg files or .svg requests will be captured, but they are embedded resources, so we have to delete them. We should not keep it. I'd like that. Sometime you may see that even sometime I have seen that even though the filter for this OFF or OFF2 are there, right? But I have seen many time request with OFF and OFF2 getting captured. It happened, it has happened, right? It happened, so we have to delete them. Okay, now how to use this filter, right? Whatever the filter is given, even though let us say something is given at least, so how to use that? So to use that, going forward, uh, we whenever we record, we will be not using the elements like this. Means we'll not manually add them, we'll be using a template. Okay, template. So from where you'll get the template, so this green button that you see, right, that is template, right? Or you can see if you go to file and then you see a template here, you can click that. Now what is template? So see, template means some pre-ready set of some design. Okay, so a template is everywhere. This is Microsoft Word, and if I go to file and if I go to new, so you see these are templates, right? You see these are template. Okay, everything is different template. um, okay, it's a common word. So in JMeter also, uh, uh, a pre-ready set of things like what we add manually, these are already done, kept as a ready, right? Pre-ready, you have to just use it. Now you'll ask me, then what will be the difference between them and manually we are adding like this? What will be the difference? So see, this HTTP test script recorder, right? We have two tabs, one tab here and another tab here. You see here, precise tab is there for request filtering. Only for request filtering only this tab is there. If you click on this tab, here the things are blank. When you keep add this element manually, here nothing will be there. But in that template they have added. Okay, they have added. So that's why going forward, whenever you record, so I'll tell you, let me click on this new, the first shortcut is new, right? New. Do you want to save? No, I do not want to save. Okay, so you click on this green button, right? And from this drop down, you see so many templates will be there. Right, we have to use the recording template. You see recording, right? Just click on that and then click on create, and then again click on create, right? And yeah, you see the things added here. HTTP thread group, inside that recording controller, view result tree, recorder, and view result tree. Okay, and moreover, three more elements will be added over here. Okay, so initially you delete them. Okay, initially you would select and delete them. Select these three, we do not need them initially. Select them and delete them. Okay, these four as usual we need, right? Now Here you'll see this element, the HTTP TCP script recorder element. It's in blurred. Okay, blurred color. Fine, you can see blurred color means it's a disable. I don't know why it's they have given as a disable, but it is disabled. Okay, so we have to enable it. How to enable it? So in JMeter, to enable and disable any element, enabling or disabling an element in JMeter is known as toggling. Fine, and yeah. So okay, enabling and disabling an element in JMeter is called toggling, and the shortcut for that is Control T. Okay, or here one option is there. If you see this option that you see, that is the shortcut icon for enabling or disabling, or you can press what, Control plus T. Okay, Control plus T. Fine. So just click here and then press on Control plus T. Right, like this. So it was disabled, right? I'll select again and I'll enable. So you see now it's enabled. I just press Control plus T. So remember few shortcuts, right? They are very handy. In the last session I told 3 shortcuts, right? Then today again one more shortcut. So these things you should remember. Not 3, 4 shortcuts I told in last session. Then today one more shortcut, right? Okay, they are always handy when you will be working in JMeter. Now, so now in this recorder, if you come to this request filtering, you see here the filters are there. URL pattern to exclude, right? And here scroll is also there. You can just scroll them up and down, right? If you want to know, otherwise do not worry. I have kept the same thing in this PPT. Whatever the filters are given, I have kept and I have already done for you guys, right? Okay, so this is how we will be filtering, and right, and one more thing. So as a best practice, right, going forward, we'll be using the template. Okay, and we have to enable this. Now next is, see, recording controller will not be using. They have given to use the recording controller, but it's not a good element. Okay, what happens is, suppose, just a second. Let us say inside this recording controller, you have recorded and you have kept something here, right? So this recording controller has a this option which is good also and which is bad also. Okay, it's good and it's bad as well. Fine. How it is bad? How it is good? So suppose you have done a recording and the requests are and transactions are kept here. You do not and you decided, or you come to know that after recording, you come to know that the recording is wrong. So you can just click here and all will be cleared in one go, right? But suppose you have done the recording and it's good, fine, and that time okay, and those recordings is good. You want to keep those transaction and request, but accidentally also if you click here, they will be gone, right? I'll just show you. I am going to click on this button and you see all those gone, right? So this thing is not good. I do not suggest. So recording controller also you should not use. Delete the recording controller, or do what? Right click on thread group, go to add, go to logic controller and go to simple control, and click on simple control. Okay, simple controller is very simple in nature. It doesn't have anything means see this is called attribute. Okay, attributes, a element. This is element, and on left hand side and on right hand side, the options that you see, options, right, that options that you see, in good words you will be calling them as a attributes. Like if you see, I'm clicking on thread group, so all these options or the settings that you see, they are technically, or in a good words, they will be called what? Attributes, right? Attributes. So recording controller is having this attribute, only one attribute, and it's good and bad as well, right? Simple controller doesn't have any attribute. It's very simple in nature. It just act as a holder. Okay, remember, it just act as a holder, right, for holding that things. So going forward, you will use simple controller, and all your recordings you'll keep in simple controller. Recording controller you can select, and you can click on seizure, and that will be deleted. Right now, now here is TTP test script recorder. So you see here, now since we have changed the target, right? You remember the target controller means where we keep the recording. By default, it's recording controller, right? Okay, so now we are not using recording controller. So from this drop down, you can click here, and from this drop down, you have to use simple control. Simple control. Then grouping. Grouping is already selected. It's the fifth option only. Right? Fifth option. These are best practices setting that I'm talking about whenever you record in HTTP test script recorder, right? So remember, so here simple controllers. Then this is the fifth option, auto selected. Then here capture HTTP header, let it be. And only here in this, you have to choose prefix. In this drop down, the good practice, you have to choose prefix, the first one. Okay, first one. Fine. So what changes you have to do basically is here changing this and choosing prefix here. Other thing will be as it is as default as a best. Like this fifth option auto selected, this also auto selected, here also check mark, here keep alive thing, follow redirect. What are these follow redirect? We'll talk later on. What is keep alive? We'll talk later on. But yeah, let it be. Okay. So what we have to worry about is this one. It's selecting prefix here, right? And port is there. Yeah. Now come to view result tree. This view result tree, which is inside this HTTP test script recorder, right? So here you'll see, here a file will be there, recording.xml. Now this is the file. By default, it's given by JMeter people that whenever we record, so the original recording that we get here, the recording log, right? That will be saved in this file. Okay, but we will not use this file. Why we will not use this file? Because this is a default file, recording.xml, which will be saved in the bin directory. In our JMeter bin directory is there, so it will be saved in the bin directory. Suppose you are recording, let us say today you are recording on a scenario called Flipkart, right? On a project called Flipkart, you did the recording something, and all the recording logs came, and those were saved in this file only, right? Tomorrow, after 1 month, you are working on another project like Amazon, right? So you are recording something on Amazon. So what will happen if you do not change this? The recording from Amazon will be also saved in this file only. So this file is going to become what? Right, in India we call it as a khichdi, right? Which is not good. Why we will mix the thing of different scenario, right? Okay, it will be mixed, right? It will be mixed. So we will not use this. We can give our own. So let us say first you can save this. So you know how to save, right? You can go to file and save this test plan, or your save button is there. You can save. Let me click on save. Let me just save on my desktop. So here I'm giving second recording. File name I'm giving, and it will be a JMX file. Here it is selected, right? So save. So this whole test plan is saved. Now after saving this, come here, just delete this, and click on browse. Wherever you want to save, let us say I want to save on desktop only, choose that location and give the file name here, whatever file name, second recording logs I'm giving. This is the file name, second recording logs, right? This will be the file name you have to give, and now you have to give the extension. Extension is very important. So what extension you can give? You see here they are giving .xml, .jtl or .csv, but we will be using .xml, right? So extension of this file will be what? .xml. See, that file extension is different. Okay, that is JMeter JMX file extension. This file extension is XML. It is different. This will be just for saving the recording log, right? So the extension here compulsory you have to give. So file name, then .xml, right? .xml, and then you have to click on open and click on then an error kind of message will come. Okay, do not worry about that message. Simply click on OK. right? So here you see the path will be given. Now one more thing. So this is done. Now what you have to do is, here configure is there. You have to go in configure and you have to verify one thing. So click in configure and you have to just verify that here check mark is there or not. Okay, here one check mark must be there, must be there or should be there. Even let us say accidentally a check mark is not there, you have to put a check mark here. Hmm? That you have to verify, right? If it is there, fine. If it is not there, you have to put a check mark there and then click on done and then save. Then save. Now you go and do the recording, right? So this is what the best practices how we should do recording in JMeter, right? It's not done yet, but yeah, there are many things. Okay, now to record again, you have to set up the port is there. We have whichever browser you are using, you have to open the browser, right? Let me try again. So I'll go to three dot setting, proxy. Setup on save. We have to give localhost here and the number here, right? Remember, and save. Okay, save. And now I'll open incognito window and then I'll press the start button here. Click on OK, and then first transaction name, generally for any application, first transaction name is home page launch or home page load. Anything you can give launch. Okay, and then you put this is the tab. You put the URL here and just hit the enter button. So let me try. Sorry, wrong URL I have given. Generally, we should not make mistakes, right? When doing a perfect recording. We should enter the things correctly. Yeah, let it be for now. So same that Adactin hotel that I used, I am opening. Okay. Fine. Now this page is fully loaded. Now you can verify in JMeter one. So let us go and verify inside simple controller. You can check that this home page launch and here yeah, requests are there. And then in this view result tree, request are coming. Fine. If you see now, this time there is no embedded resources. Okay. Like in the last session there were so many embedded resources, so they are getting filtered out. But even though, as I said, many time embedded resources can be captured, so at that time you have to delete it manually, right? Now let me do one more transaction. T02 click new user register link. So I'm going to click here. And see, this website is not fully added. If you loaded, if you see on top right corner, there will be a circle which keep on revolving. Okay, until and unless the circle finishes its revolving, means the website is not fully loaded. Okay, once it finishes its revolvement, that time that time it will stop, right? Means that time once that revolvement is stopped, that time the website is fully loaded, right? Till then we have to wait. We should not do anything, right? Okay, fine. Now I'll just stop the recording. So now you see here the traffic's coming and here also traffic's coming. Now I'll show you one by one. So you can see here home page launch 3 times got captured. It can happen. Okay, do not worry. right? So you have to do what? You have to just identify why it has happened, what has been done. So see, the first request, if you see, if I click and expand, this is geostatic, means it's irrelevant. Okay, it's something related to Google. I do not need this, so I'll delete this request and this. And then one more thing, save. Okay, when the recording is done, save, compulsorily save, and then we have to do the things. I'll show this again one more time. All right, this is just overview. It's not the final thing here. As a good practice, how to do end to end, I'll show you one more time. Okay, so do not worry. But yeah, this is brief introduction. Then again, we'll do it one more time in depth, right? So this I do not need. I'll delete. Then one more time homepage launch. So I'll expand and I'll check. Okay. So this is adaptinhotel.com. Fine. This is my application URL. I'll keep it. Then homepage launch again. I'll expand and check. Here you see so many things unnecessary. I don't know even MSDF connect test. Okay. Something maybe from my background activity. Right. Maybe Microsoft or something they say. So I all these I do not know, right? I do not need, and it's not my application related which I'm testing. So I will delete this whole thing. So like that things can happen. That those are called irrelevant request, irrelevant URL. And same way we have you may have embedded resources also. You have to delete, right? Uh, okay, fine. Then here you see so you must have seen now this time no embedded resources has been recorded, and here also at PHP these all things are there, right? And this this recording is saved here, right? So accidentally, even if you delete this, right, you can always call this file again. So let me show you. First, let me remove this file from here. Right now, let me clear this. So I'm going to click on brush, any brush. We should avoid using the bigger brush, right? Because it has wider impact. Fine, it will clear the things everywhere. But generally have a practice of using the smaller brush only. But bigger brush is also sometimes we have to use. When we have to use, I'll tell that. Okay, there is a use of bigger brush in a different location, or you can say in different purpose there, right? So we'll see that later on. Initially, whenever you are using JMeter, initially start using the smaller brush only, the first brush. I'll click and it's got deleted, right? And as I told you, it was very important for enhancement, right? So I can again go to browse and I can choose that XML file. You can see here it is. I have saved on my desktop. So second recording logs.xml, I can select and I can open, and again they will be loaded, and they will be contain everything will be there. What request went, what header went, what response was received, what response header was received. Those things all will be saved in this file, and this is how we have to save, right? That is the usefulness. And uh, uh, and one more thing, whenever you have opened the file here, means suppose I have just loaded the file and these things are loaded, right? So we do not have to keep the file here, we have to remove, right? You have to select this and simply delete this. You should not keep the file here after recording. Okay, once recording is done, you have to remove. If needed, then again you have to load that file, load this thing, and again you have to remove. You do not keep here. So this is how the best practice of doing the recording, right?
Why we have some portions in red there in under view result tree? Few requests are in
They
red.
are hmm, they are irrelevant requests. We,
But the
that
first one is
they have not.
okay.
No, the first one website also that didn't got loaded properly. That's why it was in read. Okay, nothing was captured, no response, nothing
Okay.
happened. So communication, if it didn't happen correctly, right? So all are in read.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll quickly tell you how to set up the port and proxy server in other browser, right? And one more thing, remember, after setting the port and proxy server, once the recording is done, right? After doing the recording, we have to disable. We have to compulsory disable the port and proxy server setup. Otherwise, if you want to use JMeter, sorry, browser, it will not work, right? I have explained in the last session also. Like, let us say my port and proxy server is on and I'm not doing the recording, right? Recording is not being done, and if I just want to use my internet, let us say I'll refresh my Google, it will not work, it will throw error, the proxy error, something it will throw. See, no internet error it will throw, right? So remember that, okay? Many people are still confused here. So disables and save. Now you see automatically if I refresh, it will work. Port and proxy server is only we have to do setup when we are doing the recording in JMeter. Once recording is done, we have to disable it. Fine, very simple. Now I'll show you how to set up in Mozilla Firefox, because sometime uh, you will not be able to record from Google Chrome. Like in last session, one person was having uh, uh, a problem, right? What will happen in your company laptop in Google Chrome? They will do some setting. Okay, that time you will not be able to set up port and proxy server in your Google Chrome. So that time you can use other browser, like Mozilla Firefox you can use. So I'll show you through Mozilla Firefox how to do. So again, this is Mozilla Firefox, and here also on right side corner, three lines are there. Click on three lines, and then here you'll see somewhere setting will be there. Right, click on the setting, and then here type proxy. This proxy is everywhere. Okay, this proxy setting is everywhere in any browser. It's there. Click on the setting, and just a second. Let me first delete this since I have used it. So these are there. Yeah. So initially, what will be there? Initially, no proxy will be there in Mozilla Firefox. Initially, right? When you want to set up the proxy, you have to click on manual proxy configuration, and then here you have to type what localhost. That will be common, localhost, right? And then here you have to give the port number. Port number should be same what is given in JMeter. I'll talk about this port later on, right? For now, let us use 888. Okay, and then put a check mark here in the checkbox, right? So we have to select this, we have to type localhost here, the port number here, and check mark here, and then we have to click on OK. Okay. Now, now here also we have incognito window, like Google Chrome, that is called new private window. Open new private window. Uh, um, Click on start and start doing the recording. It will be done. Fine. Then and once the recording is done, again you can come to the proxy, right? And you have to disable, right? You have to again select on no proxy. Okay. Then in Internet Explorer, so open Internet Explorer. So in Internet Explorer also, on top right corner, three dots will be there. Click on that, and here you see settings. Click on the settings, right? Oh, this is Edge, actually Edge browser, not Internet Explorer. Fine. Edge also same. Type search here, proxy, same thing, right? And you see here open computer proxy. Um, so it's like Google Chrome only. Edge settings are like Google Chrome only. Okay, here it came back. You can enable here, right? Because Internet Explorer is little bit different. I'll show you internet. clicking on Internet Explorer. I think Internet Explorer is not working in Windows 11. It's not working. It's not working. They have removed, I think, in Windows 11. Internet Explorer they have removed. Okay, and not an issue. Fine. Edge is there. So yeah, in Internet Explorer also you have to open uh, Internet Explorer if you have, and three dots will be there on top right corner. You have to click, and there you'll see Internet option something you'll see, or setting something you see. You have to click on that, and then a screen will come like this. I'll tell you. I should not have upgraded to Windows 11. It's not good. Windows 10 was good. Now this is internet. Okay, internet set options. Yeah, so this kind of pop-up will come. Okay. Fine. Internet properties kind of pop-up will come in Internet Explorer, right? In 11, Windows 11, it's not there. They have removed it. Till Windows 10, it's there, right? So yeah, so there also on whenever you open Windows, sorry, Internet Explorer, right? So top right corner, three dots will be there. You have to click, and then you will see an option. Either you'll see setting, or you'll see Internet option, right? You have to click on that, and then this kind of pop-up will come, right? Then here you see connection tab. You have to click on connection tab. Then here you will see LAN setting, right? You have to click on LAN setting, and then here proxy server. Fine. So just a second now. Let me delete this. Yeah. So like this proxy server, you have to click, and then here you have to fill as usual those three things, two things: localhost and the port, right? And here do not put check mark, no check mark. Just click on no. That's it. This is how we have to do in Internet Explorer. Okay. Click OK, and OK, and I start recording. And if you want to disable, same way you have to come back to the setting, open LAN setting, and then you have to uncheck this check mark, so proxy server will be disabled, right? And remember one thing, the proxy server setup, okay, proxy server setup of Google Chrome, Edge, okay, Edge, and Internet Explorer is same. Meaning what? If you do proxy server setup in Google Chrome, it will be applied in Edge also, it will be applied in Internet Explorer, or vice versa. If you do proxy server setup in Internet Explorer, it will applied in Edge, and it will be applied in Google Chrome. Okay. Or if you do in Edge, it will be applied in Google Chrome, it will be applied in Internet Explorer. They share the same proxy setting, right? But Mozilla Firefox proxy setting is not shared, it's a separate. So for now I'll show you in Mozilla Firefox. Just wait. Maybe time this Windows is hanging nowadays. Yeah, so Let us say I'll go to the proxy and I have chosen the manual proxy server setup, right? And I'm clicking on OK, right? Now what I'll do, this is Mozilla Firefox, and here I'll try to open something, right? I'm trying to open google.com. It will not work obviously because proxy server setup is on, so it's throwing the error as usual, right? Fine, google.com app. But while in Google Chrome, if I do that, let me refresh this page, or let me load a new page. So see, here it's working. Here it's working. Means what? Proxy server setup is not applied here. It's only local to the Mozilla Firefox. Getting the difference, right? And this is also a way to get the idea that your proxy server setup is working or not. If you do the proxy server setup and then you try to browse internet, that time it will throw error like that. Or in Google Chrome also, no internet error will come. Okay. Now, yeah. Now next thing about the ports. See, the 48 port is default port. Okay. Right. You can use, but it's not that you have to use that port only. Sometimes you can use other ports also. In few cases, you have to use other port. So what other port you can use? See, any port with 0 in them, generally these are used by some applications. So do not use this kind of ports. Okay, you can use some other port, like for an example here, 888.777.999.966, or just removing or replacing one number here, right? You can see you can use. Okay, it's not mandatory that we have to use this port only, but yeah, go with that port. Why to take headache? Okay, why to take unnecessary headache? But we can choose a different port also, right? Few example I have given. And do not do much R&D on this, right? No need to worry about that. Same way, the word, right? Localhost. Generally, it's a fixed word. Localhost. It will not change. Uh, but instead of localhost, you can use this number also sometime if you wish. Why? Because see, in this internet world, whatever the domain name we have, right? There is a hidden IP address with that. So this localhost is a name, but there is a number hidden in that. So either you can use this number or you can use this word. Okay, so I'll just show you in a small intro. So what I'll do in Mozilla Firefox only, instead of this local host, I'll use the 127.0.0.1.1, and here instead of this port, I'll use 7777. I'll click on OK, and I have to update here. Remember, the port should be same. If in Mozilla Firefox or Google Chrome I am using port called 777, so same port I have to give here, or whatever port I am giving here. Let us say I'm giving 6666 here, so same port I have to give in the browser also. Okay, the port should be same. If you are using 888, so this one you should use there, right? Use 88 only. As I'm saying, there is no much headache to, do not worry about these all things. But yeah, sometime we should know the things, right? There should be no confusion left. So I have used 777. Let me delete this previous thing here for now, right? This all I'm clearing, and I'm not saving the log, right? The same, because I have to just show you, so I'm not saving. Let me click on start. Okay. T01. Home page launch, right? And what is the URL? This is the URL. This is Google Chrome. Okay, I'll just delete, close it. We are going to do from Mozilla Firefox, because the port and proxy server is set up in Mozilla Firefox. I have entered the URL, and let me hit the enter button. While recording, okay, the website will be slow, so do not worry about that. See, this same website, it will open faster if normally if I open, but when I'm recording and then I'm opening, it's slow. You see on top right corner, still one dot is there, which is revolving like that. which is oscillating, means the page is not completely loaded, right? Or sometime you'll see circle keep on revolving like that, means the page is not completely loaded. We should always keep the we should always allow the page to be completely loaded. Now the page is loaded, means this full transaction is done, complete transaction is done. Now I'll just come in here and I'll just show you the things recorded or not. Yeah, see, right? Just expand this here to home page launch. You can see uh, yeah, sometime it can happen, right? Same request, the same request captured two time here. So in that case, delete one request, right? Any request you can delete because both are same, right? So we have to keep any one. So I've deleted one. So happening, right? Recording is happening. Or let me do one more transaction, last transaction. Just simply click. I'm giving click, and I'm going to click here. We should wait for the page to be completely loaded. The page is completely loaded. And now, yeah, click here. So you can see, right, register.php, right, they are recorded, right? Here also we see the traffics. Apart from that, you see additional traffics. These traffics are not coming here. I'm lucky, but this kind of traffics can come. You see, Firefox, McAfee. As I told you, right, McAfee is trying to uh, communicate with his server, right? Firefox is trying to get update itself, right? You see, these are irrelevant requests. Okay, like that, irrelevant request occurs in our system. We are not aware of that, but they happen. The communication happens. Okay. So this is how we can change the port also. You can use a separate port also, and instead of localhost, you can use sometime this number as well, right? Right. These are some useful commands just for information. This is not related to JMeter. These are some system commands. So that is how we have seen port and proxy server in different browser and recording from different browser using different ports, right? And yeah, and one last thing, what is the use of prefix here, right? You see that I told that here in this HTTP TCP script recorder, as a best practice, we have to choose the prefix, right? Why prefix means whenever you give the transaction name, so what happened? The transaction name. See, this is the transaction name, and below these are its requests, right? This is its request. Again, I give the transaction name click. Then inside that, it's three requests here. Now, what happened? Before the name of the request, the transaction name will be added. You see, or here. So it looks good. Okay, it's look good in reporting and other thing. And it is easy to identify that also, that suppose you are given a request. Now this request is related to which transaction, so it is easy to identify, okay, this is related to the click new user transaction, this request is related to click new user transaction. That's why I suggest to choose the prefix, okay, in naming schema. Getting the idea is best practice. There are other options also, but they are best. I find this useful. Okay. Fine. Yeah. So that is all about the recording. Next is so what to keep and what not to keep, right? Hope it's clear, right? We should not keep irrelevant requests and embedded resources. We should keep the request with this, right? Like with this kind of extension, those are called main requests, and you have to invest some time. Okay, also suppose the things you are not getting, you have to invest some time, try to check the things through F12, try to identify what are embedded resources, what is main request. Okay, because initially it will be confusing maybe, right, for new beginners. So um, um, yeah, invest some time, right, in F12 to identify the things, right? Because what is there in F12, same thing in our JMeter. So if you understand the F12, nothing is there in JMeter. Nothing means many things are there, but at least the major thing, right? Request response, this will be clear to you. Okay, because we are firing the request only and we have to receive the response only. Okay? We have to understand this thing only. For doing this thing only, the tool is used, right? Now next will be
Hello.
yes.
Yeah, I have a question. If I have manually configured the proxy and port settings for the two browsers at a time, I mean Firefox and Google Chrome, and when I click on Start Recording from the tool, and uh, if I need to choose only one browser to record, how the tool will be recognized whether which browser it has to be mapped?
Why you use like that? Don't use, no, use anyone. Why to complicate the things, right?
Some of the tools actually it will automatically launch the browser which we set up in the tool itself. But here we are choosing the browser, right? Uh, how it
In
will map,
LoadRunner
how
it
it
will
will
do.
recognize?
No. So disable anyone to avoid confusion. Disable anyone.
Okay, by mistake, if I did on both browsers now, then
I don't know, man. I have never tried. You figure out. Okay.
okay.
Means I feel this unnecessary. This kind of thing has never happened, and like I have not invested my time on focusing, because the our focus should be on how the things should, how our work should be done, right? This is unnecessary conflict. Okay, maybe what will happen from both it will capture, right? So you should not use, and you record from only one, so from which you are recording it will take from there only, right? So you can do it at your end only. It's not nothing. You use Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, set the port same, and see what is happening, so you can identify the solution yourself. Next, HTTP and HTTPS, right? And JMeter certificate installation in different browser. So this I'll cover next day. This is also very important. Yeah, this is the only important thing. Okay, port and proxy server is nothing. It's just a child play. This is main thing. Okay, understanding the HTTP and HTTPS, and understanding the JMeter certificate. When we install, how to install, in different browser, certificate regeneration, domain-based certificate generation, right? This is important for the recording. Okay, so this is today is the last demo session, you can say, or open session, right? Next we'll start from 5th of January next year on, I think it will be on Wednesday only. From next Wednesday till then, sessions will be on hold, right? So thank you for all for attending and evaluating, right? So whoever interested, you can please make the payment and I will continue, right? So thank you, have a good day.